For small business home service type companies that do construction, architecture, HVAC, electrical, anything like this, if you've ever been to any kind of coaching, like business coaching or leadership training, a lot of times they're going to eventually focus on your financials. How is your company performing? There's a lot of different areas that you have to focus on. As the chief everything officer, you have to do leadership, you have to do training, you have to do operations, you have to do sales. Ultimately, everything gets back to how much are we making? How much am I making as the owner? How much are we paying our employees? If you don't have a good system dialed in, whether it's your bookkeeping, your accountant, your controller, your CFO, any of those kind of positions or any of those kind of questions that would usually be owned by those people, it's time to dig in so that you can get a better report, a better financial statement that you can use. The typical financial statements you'll see in a business is the balance sheet and the income statement. The balance sheet has things like, here's how much cash I have, here's how much debt I have, and the net is your net worth, if you will. And then the P&L, the income statement, profit and loss, is what tells you how much you're making right now, whether you're tracking current month, last 3 months, last 6 months, or last year. And then you can compare year over year. So if you're in the middle of June selling, you can say, how did I do compared to last June, right? When you finish those financials, what they call close the books, you make sure everything everything that you have from a documentation standpoint is entered into your bookkeeping system. So you want to look at your bank statement, everything that came through there. You want to make sure that all the accounts receivable as well as accounts payable are clearly entered into your books and completed through the report date, such as June 30. And then you want to compare that to last year. And you can also compare it to the prior quarter. You can also compare it to anything you want. But the idea is to make sure that what the numbers are telling you is what you're expecting. If you're expecting something different, you have to dig into that. Could there be something wrong with the books? Could we be not accounting for things correctly? Could we be forgetting to make sure that we have profitability on our jobs? Is it an issue of the way we're quoting the orders? Things like that. All this will be available to you when you have good and accurate books. Step one is, how do I get good and accurate books? You need to be on something like a QuickBooks where you're going to be able to enter all that information and track it in a methodical and accurate way. Another thing we see with a lot of our clients is that they worry a little too much about the paper. They feel like they're always chasing paper. We can put systems in place where we're going to help deal with things like that. Receipt capture, vendor bills are brought in a much smoother fashion so that you're not constantly just chasing paper. Make sure that you're clear that good bookkeeping, good accounting isn't just more headache of paper. It should be more automation, more simplicity, and it doesn't necessarily have to increase your cost. There's a lot of things that are built into the systems you're already using today, whether it's your operational systems like your Housecall Pro or your ServiceTitan. You can tie that all in on the back end to the accounting and then make sure that the right level of detail is coming over, because sometimes our clients also get inundated with a lot of the detail coming into the books and they're not sure what to do with that, how to properly account for that. We help you to simplify and make sure that you're only getting the information that you need in order to do the books accurately and to get the level of detail of reporting that you want for your financial statements. Now, you can certainly always preserve high level of detail within the operational systems, but then in the reporting, meaning how much did I make and by which division? Maybe I want to look at commercial versus residential versus government contracts, state or federal. Any of that kind of stuff you can do with the way you break down the way your bookkeeping is happening in your QuickBooks. So we are here to help you with that. We can discuss what you've tried in the past. We can offer suggestions for what your bookkeeper could do today, or we can just help bring service to fulfill that for you and put you on a regular monthly subscription for that. But either way, it all starts with a consultation, and it all starts with getting your risks identified and getting your goals identified so that you can serve your company well and be a great owner, be a owner that increases the wealth of the business rather than just seeing a cash problem and then suddenly taking a loan or something that is just going to add more risk and problem and headache for you down the road.